Hey John, got the sauce, boy.
Yeah, I got the sauce, did you pick it up? If it dropped my heart, would you lift it up? If I cooked it up, would you eat it up? If it planted flowers, would you pick them up? If I say yeah, but don't level up. Would you ever lie or cheat, threaten to leave? Question she asked me. If I went broke, would you leave me out in the cold? Where it snows, can't find no love. But I know that that's how it goes. That's how it goes. The true color show. The true color show.
Forget the sauce, would you pick it up? Yeah. Life not bad, I'ma fix it up. You know my chick, don't mix it up. All of this dick, come sip it up. You know my gang, don't push it up. Brand new whips when we pulling up. Course she wanna date, she a fan, bruh. We robbing the state, put your hands up. Big love, I'm your close friend, she twerking crazy, shake that. I'm a rich nigga, might break that. If I send a text, don't save that. I know there ain't shit to lose, but you gonna fuck up my groove.
Yo, what's up, you sexy ass motherfuckers? Today, you already know what we're doing, but before we start that, I want to give a shout out to this guy, Crown Clown. He has really good what ifs. My favorite one right now, out of the 3 that I've watched, is probably What If Deku was Daredevil. And yeah, and then it's probably Rain, and then it's Shiro Emu. So you should go check this guy out, because honestly, I don't know if he scripts his things or if he goes off the top of his head, but either way, it's both. They're both. If he does either one, it's amazing because like his storytelling in his what ifs are are great. I'm not gonna lie. Like honestly, I feel like it's probably like 9 out of 10 to 10 out of 10, and that's being like honest. That's how much I like it. So. Yeah, go subscribe to him, but watch some videos first, and you'll probably understand why I think he's really good, and I feel like he honestly deserves more traction in this channel. So yeah, go subscribe to him. All right, yeah. All right, I'm just here to flex. All right, if you play Dragon Ball Legends, you already know what this is. Ultra Instinct Sign Goku. He came out a couple of days ago, I think a week. But yeah, just came here to flex my pulls, just yeah. All right, time to get into this what if. All right, you don't know how many fucking times I've recorded this thing. I recorded it like 3 to 4 times. All right, I re-recorded it because I didn't like the way it ended up. All right. That's how that's how much I didn't like the way I recorded it the first couple of times. So yes, all right. He's gonna have this is gonna be What If Deku had Flash's abilities. I probably shouldn't be recording at like 6 in the morning when I have school on Thursday. I mean it's Wednesday today, so I might have to take some NyQuil and knock out. But yeah, let's get into the story. Deku, he's obviously stillborn quirkless, so yeah. So when he goes to the doctor, he's like, yeah. The doctor's like, yeah, sorry, kid. You should probably give up your dream on being a hero. Like he's blunt about it. He don't care. Like he's just looking out for the kid. Like he's just like, nah, I ain't trying to see him die, bro. Like I'm trying to be a hero without a quirk. It's a death sentence, literally. But he's like, nah, I can become a hero without a quirk. That's what Deku's saying. Because Deku's way smarter than this, alright? He's like when he turns, I think I said in my last video, when he turns 8, he's going to be as smart as Nezu, if not smarter, at the age of 8. Nezu's IQ is 245, I think. Hold on, yeah, let me confirm this. Yeah, because last time I searched it up, he's smarter than most humans. Alright, so, yeah, Nezu's 245, alright? And, yeah, so, keep that in mind, alright? Alright, so, he's born quirkless. Him and Bakugo are actually friends. Bakugo doesn't let the, the praise about his quirk get to his head. It's more like Izuku was like his big brother, right? And that's how that's gonna work. Um, so yeah, Bakugo doesn't let the the f- the I wouldn't say fame, more like the praise and the glory that he's kind of getting because of his quirk, just because of his quirk. And Deku, yeah. I'm gonna say he still gives him the nickname, but he's gonna say Deku's gonna be more like a big brother to him because of how mature Deku's gonna be and how like how he looks out for everyone. And he tells Bakugo, he's like, don't just look at the quirk, like make sure that doesn't get to your head because if it does, you'll just become arrogant. You'll just become an arrogant piece of shit, and I don't want to see you like that. And Bakugo, like he takes that to heart, and he's like, all right, I won't let it get to my head. And so he does it. And so he's 4. So between the ages of 4 and 6, he's bullied when Bakugo's not there. But when Bakugo is there, Bakugo breaks that up quick. Like as soon as he step in the room and he see Izuku getting bullied, at the end of school he about to bully them. Like that's how it goes. But they still like they make fun of him. Like why are you hanging out with a quirkless loser? And Bakugo's like he's more of a hero than you guys will ever be. And that hits everyone in the fields. They're like, how can you say that? Like he's quirkless. Like no way he can be more of a hero. And Bakugo's like, it's not just the quirk that matters. It's the human who it's the heart of the hero that matters. That's what he's saying. And everyone they take this like they take it into consideration, but they just let it go from one ear out the other. That's basically what they do. Let happen. But on the yeah. So here, let me tell you how I'm gonna do my what ifs. All right, Yeah. Pause on the what if. Deku's life is literally so easy to manipulate into a dark story. Like the way his life was set up, it's like it was destined for what ifs. All right, like you can make it fucked up, you can make it perfect, you can make it dark. Like for him and his family, like you could do so many things with his backstory that it's so easy to manipulate. That's why it's good for what ifs. My Black Clover what ifs. Asta's backstory, it's okay, but like it's kind of difficult to mold it into like a betrayed or like stuff like that. In my opinion, at least. So I feel like Deku's backstory. Sorry for the cars in the background. Um, Deku's backstory is so easy to manipulate, and yeah, so expect me to make more dark what ifs, like very, like fucked up what ifs that I literally have to tell you. Like don't like if you don't want to hear this bullshit that I'm about to spout in this what in like other what ifs, like just leave, all right, just leave. But yeah, some are gonna be okay. Like his life's still gonna go kind of bad, and his school and stuff. But yeah, hold up, 5,000 on this guy. Nah, 5,000 on him. Uh, yeah. So some of his life, or some what ifs, are gonna be messed up to the max. Some are gonna be messed up, but not as bad. Some are just gonna be regular, and then some I might make like 2 or more what ifs where his life is actually like really good. Um, yeah. So yeah. Let's get back into this. So if you know how the Flash's backstory is, you know what's about to happen next. And I'm gonna say in this what if, I know actually I'll say that later, but at nighttime, right? He turns 6. So after a month of him turning 6 years old, he hears something, right? And he wakes up and he sees like stuff in his house just moving, right? And he's like, what the fuck? Like he's smart, so like he knows cuss words. He calls his mom and dad mother and father. It's like he's cultured, right? Or like he has etiquette or something like that. I don't even know. But he goes upstairs and what he sees horrifies him, all right? So I'm gonna say his mom and dad are still here. So they live in a house. Um he sees his mom getting stabbed and he sees two different colored lightnings. Yellow because of this. All right, he's gonna wear. What's his face? Godspeed's costume. But at the beginning of the what if, or like at the beginning, he's gonna wear Savitar's. So he sees his mom getting stabbed, like inconsistently. He notes that inconsistently. 1 second, she gets stabbed. 3 seconds later, she gets stabbed. So he notices like, but like right now, he's just mad. Like he's like, mom, mom, mom. He's yelling that out, and you know it's not the Reverse Flash, because in his backstory it's the Reverse Flash. No, it's not. It's not. It's Zoom. All right, it's Zoom. Zoom is the one who's doing this. So it's Zoom and his future self. All right, and Zoom sees him, and he's about to do some fucked up shit. He runs up to Deku and gives him a lightning bolt with the knife, with his dad's fingerprints on there. All right, keep this in mind. He puts a lightning bolt he gives him a scar that's life threatening, all right? And the neighbors hear this, so they call the cops. And the cops and the ambulance arrive, and the heroes arrive too because they heard like screaming like stop. So that happens. And before, Izuku like passes out, he says, "Deku, call me Zoom." As Deku gets a good look of what Zoom looks like, all right? So that this will play an important part. I don't know where I want to go with it. I don't know if I want to introduce him in the entrance exams or in the sports festival, cuz either two or maybe even both. He gets a good look of how Zoom looks, and he burns it into his brain, all right? He burns it into his brain. He's like, I'm going to remember this fucking guy for the rest of my life. And next thing, he wakes up in a hospital. And he's like, what? He wakes up, he's like, what happened? As you know, there's a doctor there. He's like, kid, you shouldn't be moving. And he's like, what happened to my dad? What happened to my mom? As the cop, or not the cop, the doctor's like, he doesn't want to break the news to him, but he's like, damn, like, I'm gonna say the Bakugos are there too, so like, the doctor's like, I'm sorry to tell you, kid, but your mom is dead, and your father, he was convicted of murder. He's like, why was my dad convicted of murder? He didn't do anything wrong. He's like, well, the cops found the murder weapon with his fingerprints on there. I'm sorry, kid, but we can't do anything. Unless someone else steps up and, says they killed your mother, we can't do anything. I'm sorry. As much as I want to believe you, there's just nothing that can be done. And now Deku's mad. Like, he's like, this is bullshit. Like, and, the doctor's like, damn, like, he knows how, he already cursing like that. Like, that's, hopefully nothing happens. Like, he knows the kid's quirkless because he read over his files and stuff. But, like, even then, like, quirkless people can be sinister as shit. He's like, yo, hopefully this kid don't do anything rash, And, the Bakugos arrive later, and, they, like, we're gonna take you in. And this all happened when he was 6. So, when he turns, like, after, like, a year, and he's, like, 7, he got over it, but throughout that year, he had nightmares. And he'd wake up in cold sweats, like screaming like mom, or Zoom, or stop it, like other multiple things, right? Because this was way worse than what happened, because in the Flash's backstory, um, he's 12, but it doesn't happen as bad because I think his mom was only stabbed once or twice. And this what if his mom body, it's not gonna be an open casket. That's all I'm gonna say. Like it's not gonna be an open casket. That's all I'm gonna say. But and then he got put in life and death situation. So it's way worse, maybe, than Barry Allen, the Flash's backstory, and you know his life for like a whole year, it was just like sadness and depression. He was wallowing in just pity for himself and because he was too weak. And he couldn't do anything to save his mother. He can't do anything to help his father. And I'm gonna say Detective Takasuchi, he's not there. He's not in whatever city they live in. He's gonna be in another region of Japan. And I'm gonna say, I don't think he has a quirk in canon, but I'm gonna say in this what if he's gonna have a lie detector quirk. So that's how that's gonna work, right? And that's gonna play an important part in this story. Because I'm about to do Deku dirty, alright? I mean, this is not gonna be dark, but I'm gonna do him dirty, alright? Dark is gonna be when I do the what if Deku had the Rinnegan, alright? That's gonna be dark. But oops. Alright, so yeah, so it takes him a year to get over it. And during that time, he calls Mitsuki and Basaru, he calls them mom and dad. And I'm gonna say the reason he calls them mom and dad so quickly, Deku really only had like 2 or 3 years to, form a bond with his family. But he was smart, so he knew they'd leave eventually. Like they'd either leave him or die. Alright, so like, he had that type of mindset because he's smart. He's not like an innocent little child, no. He knows what he's doing. And so he gets over it. And he calls Mitsuki and Basaru mother and father. And they take note of, like Deku's seriousness in this. Like, that happens. So he takes up a hobby, and for a whole year, at like the age of 8, he creates gadgets and stuff that would help him become a hero. And Mitsuki and Basaru and Bakugo see this. I'm gonna call him Bakugo, even though his real name is, supposed to be Katsuki. But, yeah. So they're literally brothers in this. I mean, before he was adopted, they were still brothers. But, yeah, that happens. And so, at the age of 8, Mitsuki gives the idea to Deku, like, why don't you sell these to other companies? And, like, Deku, at the age of 8, he has an IQ of, like, 230, so just almost as smart as Nezu. So he's like, yeah, I could, but, if I do make a company, first I'd have, or not, like, if I do sell these items, I have to patent it, and then I want to create a company after that. And like, but I'm gonna have to keep my name and our family's name confidential. And she's like, oh, okay, honey, like, you can do that. And that's what Deku does. That's what Deku does, or that's what Deku does. I think that's what Deku does. So he does that, and at the age of 9, he's smarter than Nezu. He has an IQ of 280. And he's patented his gadgets. He sold them, and he's made about $1 billion with like contracts and deals and other shit like that. So he's busting in cash, all right. And I'm talking about $1 billion USD, not yen. So yeah, he's stupid rich, all right. And I'm gonna say the Yayurozus in this, they're gonna have about 300 billion in their family, like their family in total. Alright, so, and I'm gonna say they're a tech support. or like a hero. I don't know how to say it. Like so, they create tech for heroes. All right, I don't know why it took me. It was like a brain fart there, bro. But yeah, they create support items and gadgets and stuff like that. So Deku's made deals with them, but like he's kept his name confidential. And they're like, I mean, I guess. Hopefully he's not doing anything legal, but he's not. So age of I think he was 9. Uh, he creates his own business with like the $1 billion, and he actually starts it up really well. So for that past year, he was studying like the stock market, um, like the correct words, like the correct deals to make, like to help him, succeed in making a business. And he does that. And at 9, he does it, and he creates a really fucking successful business. In the first year that they're up, they've accumulated about, oh, hold on. What should I call it? Industries? Yeah, Flash Industries. I'm gonna call it Flash Industries, alright? So he names it Flash Industries, yeah, pun intended, alright, yeah. And in the first year, I'm gonna say, I feel like it's possible in the world of My Hero. They get $15 billion off the bat in the first year. So they're blowing up, alright? They're like up there. They're like, and they don't even know who the owner is. Like, he has a right hand man, and he's like loyal, alright? He loyal. And Deku's personal net worth is about, I'm gonna say 10 billion. And the first year, or no, I'm gonna say 10 billion, alright? So in the first year of him having a business, his business gains about um, $15 billion in earnings, in revenue. So that's how that works. And he has a personal net worth of 10 billion. Yaoyorozu family has 300 billion. So that works like that. At the age of 11, he has about, let's say, he tripled. Nah. I'm gonna say he was at 15, so I'm gonna say he has about, fuck it, $60 billion. All right, I feel like it's possible. Deku's net worth, uh, 45 billion dollars. Because the reason I'm gonna say his industry and his business is so successful, he started it off right with a good amount, like a shit ton amount of money. He learned how to cut deals and stuff like that, and then he did it at the right time. And so yeah, that's all the age of 10. I think I said 10. Yeah, so at the age of 10. At the age of 11, no, I said it was at the age of 11, I think. So at the age of 12, uh Yaoyorozus, they have about, I'm gonna say 305 billion. Flash Industries, they have 90 billion. Deku's personal net worth, 80 billion. So they're making strides, alright, strides, like leaps and bounds, alright, like almost the whole world knows what Flash Industry is, but they're like so infatuated with the thought of learning who is the owner of it, because that's like the thought that's driving them. Like they're like, is he a hero? Is he a villain? Like who is this man? It's not a man though. It's a child. And so that happens, and he's 12. So age 13 comes around, I'ma say Deku asked Mitsuki and Basaru if they could, build a home. If he could build a home for, himself, like a laboratory. And they agree. And, they're like, all right then. And they build it. And they get it built within 6 months. They got money to do it. And I'ma say this, uh, hold on. Yaoyorozu's family, they got 315 billion. And Deku's 12, I think I said. 12, he has 140. No, 13. 140 billion. That's his Flash Industries. 130 billion as his personal net worth. So, yeah, he's rolling in dope, alright? That's all I gotta say. And alright, so yeah. So, 13, during that year, during a couple of years, he's been working on something. And if you know what this is, you already know. It's the particle accelerator. And what happens is one night he calls, the Bakugos. He calls his family up. He rings them up. He says, "I want you guys to visit my home tomorrow. I just made a breakthrough." As they're all like happy, like congratulations. Like, what is it? He's like, "No, I'll tell you, and I'll tell the world." Like, he's like ecstatic. He's like, "I'll tell the world, like, this will make leaps and bounds, like, to humanity. Like, humanity as a whole will evolve to new feats that were never plausible before." And they're like genuinely scared and excited. Scared because they don't know what the future could bring if, this is true. Happy because the future it'll bring. And he says, "Yeah, just meet me tomorrow. Like, I'll run a test run today or tonight." And that was the worst mistake of his life. Or was it? See, that night, there was a low chance of a thunderstorm happening. And he checked it up. He was like, all right, low chance. I could test run it today and, see if it works. And he starts test running it and it works. Or so he thought. See, the thunderstorm started happening, it started occurring. And what happens is the particle accelerator, when he tries to turn it off because, he sees a thunderstorm, he's like, nah, it's not safe. The thunder, it hits around his home, and that causes the particle accelerator to go haywire, and it blows up. And after it blows up, during it blowing up, he was struck by lightning and sent into a pile of chemicals that are unknown, right? And so the next day, Bakugo and his family come over. They come to meet, um, Deku. And when they find him, they're horrified. Like, they call the ambulance. Like, they're like, "Get ambulance here, stat." Like, they don't know what happened. Like, they're scared. Like, they heard how happy Deku was last night. And now they just see him covered in blood. Dried blood, though. I'm going to say dry blood because his wound's already healed. But he was covered in dry blood. And, that happens. And, this and that, they think his heart's stopping. It really isn't. It's going too fast. He's getting taken into Flash Industries. And, 9 months later, he wakes up. And he's like, what the hell happened? As, they're like, the Bakugos, I'm going to say, they visit daily. And so they're there. And, 2 doctors are there. And they're like, "Holy crap, he's awake!" And they're screaming out. And Bakugos, they rush him. They're like, Mitsuki and Basaru say, like, "Son!" And then, he's like, and Bakugo, even though Bakugo's older, I think, he says, "Big bro." As, Izuku's like, What happened?" It's like, "You were struck by lightning. We don't even know how you were alive." And he's like, "Really? My memory's kind of hazy. I think I'm good though." And they're like, yeah, we ran some tests. Like, your body, something happened to it. Like, your metabolism increased. Like, your healing factor increased. Like, they don't know about the super speed yet. And they're like, they're like, something entered your body, but it's like, it's an unknown variable. Like, and they know that Izuku knows it's dark. Like, Izuku don't even know it's dark matter. And so that happens. And so he says, as he looks up, he gets up because, he was covered in almost a blanket. And he says, he looks into a mirror, he's like, lightning gave me abs? As, they all chuckle at this. He's like, yeah, lightning gave you abs. And he's like, damn, that's cool. As, he just walks out and, his family follows him. And they just go out to eat. They celebrate that he's woken up from his coma. Little does he know, his life might have gotten better, or it might have gotten worse. Who knows? But yeah, that happens. Throughout that, he's about to turn 14. So let's skip to that. He turns 14. Flash Industries, it increased a lot, but not as much as it has in the past. So I'm saying it was 160 billion. His personal net worth 145, because I'm gonna say they starting to expand across the globe. All right, yeah, they're making leaps and bounds and strides. So yes, Yaoyorozu's family, they increased their shit to like 330 billion. So Deku catching up, like he almost like halfway there, literally. And so, that happens. When he turns 14. That happens, and we're gonna cut to the last day of middle school. Yeah, so we're gonna cut to there. The teacher does his same old bullshit, like, oh, we gotta fill out these papers, and like, nah, I know y'all want to be heroes, and everyone activates their quirk. Bakugo and Izuku, they sit next to each other, and Bakugo is not saying anything. Well, Izuku's just like taking a nap. He's just like, fuck it, I really don't care. Like, he's smart, but he has like a genuine carefree attitude. Like, he can be serious when it comes to it, and he can also be mad and happy. But the teacher says things like, oh, we have 2 people applying to UA, and everyone's like, huh? Like, like UA has a 0.2 acceptance rate or something like that. And, he says Bakugo Katsuki, and when everyone hears like Bakugo's like, yeah. And then the teacher says, and he chuckles at himself saying this. He's like, huh, Izuku Midoriya. And when everyone hears this, they start laughing. But Bakugo says, shut the hell up. He has the heart of a hero. More than any of you. Like, he has the spirit and drive to become a hero. And I bet you, if he had a quirk, he would be better than all of y'all. He still is better than all of you. And this makes everyone shut up. And because they know it's the truth. And yeah, I'm going to say Deku, he stays in the same grade just because Bakugo's there. But in reality, he has PhDs on deck. Like, he does this, does that, random ass shit. So he really don't care about school. And so, dang, I really lost all that. But yeah, so that happens, Izuku's like, yeah, I'm gonna go home early, He's like, alright, catch you there. And so, he heads through the tunnel. And, sludge villain happens. But, yeah, I'm gonna say this time All Might arrives a little earlier. Or no, a little later. So, Deku, he's unconscious, right? And, All Might comes in with, like, Detroit Smash! And, or whatever. And, he fucking makes the sludge villain, like, disappear almost. And, he wraps him up in the cola bottles that he had. And, that happens. And, Izuku wakes up and he sees All Might. He's like, oh, All Might. And All Might's surprised, like, oh, he he isn't geeking out on me. Like, what is this? And no, All Might's not gonna be an asshole in this. But yeah. And he's like, before All Might can leave, he's like, well, nice to meet you. Or well, I have to go now, young. He says, Izuku Midoriya. But I have a question. As All Might's like, oh, well, ask away, young Midoriya. As he says, can I become a hero even though I'm quirkless? And I'm gonna say in this, All Might actually says, like, he doesn't say like don't choose a different career path. He says, why do you want to become a hero? He asked that question first. He's like, well, I see heroes nowadays, and he says this genuinely. He's like, well, nowadays I see heroes and they do it for the money, they do it for the fame, the glory, personal reasons, personal gain. But I don't want any of that. All I really want to do is genuinely help people. Either save their lives or help them as much as I can. Help the community out, you know? And when All Might hears, he's like, all for one successor. Or no, one for all successor right here. He says, this the golden child, the child of prophecy, really. And he says, well, I do believe you can become a hero, kid, but just know, the path that you're setting on is a dangerous one. So, be prepared for whatever the world's gonna throw at you. And don't complain, because you're the one who's trying to follow this dream. As Deku's like, I understand, All Might. And I'm gonna say Izuku's not like an All Might fan, he's an Aizawa fan. And I'm gonna say the reason why, he likes the way Aizawa works. And he actually is like an Aizawa fanboy, but he's not like a fanboy, you know what I mean? So that happens, and he starts walking away, and after like 10 minutes, you know, he sees smoke arise and like fires, and he runs over there. He's like, what's happening? As he sees, once he gets there, he moves to the front of the crowd, and he sees a girl trapped in the sludge villain. He's like, what the hell? How did he get out? I thought All Might got him. As All Might's there in a Small Might form, right? He's in Small Might. And so he's like, what the hell are you heroes doing? And the heroes turn to him and like, what do you say? What'd you say, kid? He's like, why are you standing there? Do something. Even though the situation may seem hopeless, do something. Don't just let her die like that. You're heroes for a reason. Don't act like bitches. As when the heroes hear this, it's like, what you say, kid? Like, don't say that. Don't disrespect us. He's like, well, shut up then and do something. And he tells he's like, what? Backdraft. Wet Conway Woods wood. That sounds wrong, but you know what I mean. And he does that, and he says, now he can, save more people in the burning building. And Conway Woods just does that, and he says, death arms, grab something and stab the villain in the eye. And he does that, but it just seems to not do anything. As the heroes are like, okay, we can't do anything, we can't save her. Like, what should we do? And Izuku's like, he falls, he like fucking punches the ground. He's like, damn it. As when this happens, he awakens the speed force. As, lightning just starts coursing over his body. And he's like, what the hell is this? As he says, do you mind if I help? I don't know if I can do something, but hopefully I can try. As, they're like, if you can help, then fine. Like, and he gets permission. So, oh my gosh, I'm about to get $11,000 from this. Holy shit. Sorry about that, but he says, alright then. And he's a genius in this. So he sees the lightning when he's running around. So he starts running around in a circle. And he steps back, grabs the lightning, and throws it at the sludge villain. Controlling it enough to where it only hits the sludge villain and not the girl inside. And you might know who this ship is, alright? You might know, you might not. If you do know, you're legendary. If you don't, there's been hints, like you might be able to tell. Like it's pretty broad what I said, So yeah. He takes care of the sludge villain, gets the girl. And the heroes come up to him. He's like, what you said to us was very disrespectful, but we thank you for giving us the courage, fight back. And he's like, yeah, but next time improvise, okay? Don't just sit back like a like a scared little child or something, and they're like, all right, um, it sucks hearing this from a kid, but you're saying the truth, and they walk away, and the girl, she's like, what can I do to repay you, like, and he's like, well, you're kind of cute, so how about your number, and the girl blushes at this, and I'm gonna say, I haven't explained Izuku's appearance, right? So she's like, oh, okay, and Izuku's appearance, he has black hair and blue eyes, all right. And I'm gonna say he takes after his father, Hisashi. So Hisashi has black hair, blue eyes. And, he says, hey, what's your name? And she says, my name? It's blank. I'm not telling you the name. You're gonna have to guess. And he's like, well there, blank. Watch the news tomorrow. You'll find it interesting. As the girl's like, okay, what time? And he says, 3 in the afternoon. You're gonna be surprised. Really surprised. And, she's like, okay. And, he walks home. And, his family's worried as shit. Like, what the fuck happened? And, he meets All Might. And, dang. Alright, so All Might tells him about his injury. He tells him about One For All. He tells him, like, meet me on Dagobah Beach tomorrow. He's like, nah, I can't meet you tomorrow, but I'll meet you the day after that. And All Might's like, alright. And so Izuku heads home. And, he's met by, like, the screaming of Basaru and Mitsuki. Like, what are you doing? Like, that was idiotic. And Bakugo's like, holy shit, you got a quirk now. We can be heroes. Like, and Zuko's like, yeah, I did. But he says, but right now, I'm kind of hungry. As they prepare a big ass feast, right? And they do that. And, I'ma say, yeah. So that happens. Next day comes around. And so, when he wakes up, he says, well, today's the big day. And he looks in the mirror, he says, today's the day. Everyone knows who I am. And I'm gonna say that throughout, after he woke up to, the last day of school, he's done stuff for the military, right? He's made weapons, alright? So his net worth literally doubled, alright? Or no, not double, but like it got a big ass increase. So Flash Industries, $240 billion, alright? And Deku's own net worth, fucking 225. No, 220. Alright, $220 billion. He's single-handedly, by himself, the richest man on Earth. Or the richest person on Earth. See, the Yaoyorozus, they're a family, so they're rich, like, all together, I'm gonna say. Because we don't know how their family really is. Or how Momo's family really is, So, he says, alright then. Hopefully that girl's watching from yesterday. And he smirks at himself in the mirror. He's like, yeah. So, 3 o'clock in the afternoon comes around. And I'm going to say the day before, Flash Industries were talking about, like, they were talking to news anchors. They posted on social media. They said they were going to live stream it. Like, they were going to finally reveal who the owner of Flash Industry is. And they said, the owner is going to shock you to your core. And the reason they're saying this because it's a kid. It's literally a teen. And I'm going to say at 15, right? Izuku's fucking IQ, it's fucking 345, alright? That's his IQ, alright? And I know that might sound outlandish, but, just deal with me. It's the world of My Hero. So, his IQ, fuck was his name? What was it again? 345. So 3 o'clock comes around. His right hand man. He says, "Well, thank you for all of you coming today, and thank you for everyone who's watching. Because today's the world. The world's gonna know, and yes, the world." He says, "In a couple of minutes now, we will reveal the owner of Flash Industries." And everyone gets hyped. He's like, "Yeah!" And they're all like already like getting their cameras ready. Like they're all positioned and everything. And I'm gonna say like half the world is watching this. All right, half the fucking the world, over half actually. Damn, I just lost money. Not real money, but virtual money. Um, and everyone's getting hyped, and the girl's watching. And I'm gonna say the person who created Flash Industries, that's her idol, literally. And now you might know who this is. I gave you a pretty big hint, alright? And he comes out with a mask. And everyone's like, "Oh shit, shit's about to go down." And everyone's already snapping pictures, like, they're like, "Holy shit." And he says, "Hello there, everyone. I'm the owner of Flash Industries. And right now, I'm about to reveal my face to the world. So, hopefully, I don't disappoint." as as soon as that happens, he starts taking off his mask, and that happens. And the girl who's watching this, I'm gonna say he didn't say his name, right? Because the girl's like, she didn't ask for it, and Izuku forgot about it, completely passed over his mind, even though he's smart as fuck. So he takes off his mask, and the girl who's watching, he's like, "Holy shit!" As her parents run into the room, like, "What happened?" He's like, "I gave my number to the owner of Flash Industries, my idol." And everyone's like, "Holy shit. Did you actually say?" "Yeah." And they're like, "Oh my gosh." Like, they're like happy for her. He's like, "Well, go get her, Tiger." Or go get him, Tiger. And she's like, "Hopefully, I mean, I don't know." And he says, "Hello." Or no, we come back to Izuku. He's like, "Hello. My name? My name is Izuku Mitoria." As now that people know who he is, they're gonna research his backstory, and they're gonna find out that what happened. So yeah. And he says, "And to the girl who's watching this, I hope you're watching it." And when the girl hears, it's like, "Holy shit, he's talking to me in front of the entire world." And she kind of blushes, right? Even though she's like, "Why am I blushing?" And Izuku's like, "Also, I will be applying to UA, so be aware of that. And hopefully I can make a good hero that can save as many as I can. If directly or indirectly. Hopefully I can bring a smile to the people who've lost their own." I'll become the greatest hero I can become, and save everyone that I can. So, trust me, I'll become someone that everyone can strive to be and be better. He's giving an emotional speech, like, an inspirational one. Everyone's like taking it to heart, and they're like recording every word he's saying, like everything. And yeah. So he says, "Okay, I have 10 months to get ready. So, I'll leave off with this. Anyone who's applying to try and become a hero, don't do it for personal gain. Do it for the reason to become a true hero. To save people to the best of your abilities." Now, goodbye, and I hope to see you in the future. as he walks off, and everyone's cheering like, "Yo!" You know, live streams are going crazy with comments like, "Oh my gosh, he's hot," or like, "He's so young," this and that. You know, like he getting praise, all right. And so that happens, and All Might's like, "Holy shit, he's the owner of Flash Industries. What the fuck?" He's like, he's getting crazy himself. He's like, "Holy shit." Because, he knows about Flash Industries himself too. And, this happens. And, he brings Bakugo with him, during the training. So that happens. And, he's talking with the girl too. So he's getting a control on his speed. And, he's gotten a good control over it for the 10 months. But, I'm going to say what goes happen. So, his company, I don't know how to say it, okay? It's like it was skyrocketing before, right? But now that they know it's a kid, they're even more amazed. Like, what's up with him, bro? He's like he's a whole new breed. He's different. He's built different, literally. Yeah, literally, and like, yeah, literally. And everyone's like, "Yo, holy shit, who is this guy? I just lost all my money on Salty Bet, bruh. Are you fucking kidding me?" But yeah, that happens. And, he's training with Bakugo. And, him and, Bakugo have a fucking, like, brotherly rivalry, bro. Like, their rivalry, it pushes them to new heights. So I'm going to say Bakugo develops his howitzer impact, his AP shot, all that shit. And I'm going to say Izuku, he develops the Savitar suit, alright? He's uses that metal and, like, his shit go crazy, alright? And, everyone's, like, trying to get into his life. And they know what happened to his life. And they feel bad, like, damn, this guy had a hard future, like, sheesh. And, they're all like, everyone's inspired by him. Literally almost everyone. They're like, his mom died in front of him. He was put in life-threatening situation. Like, he almost died. And he still pulled through. And he made his name known across the entire world. Mind-blowing, bro. That's like something they can barely comprehend. Like, how? But it is. And so, at the end of the 10 months, him and the girl, and last month, so like the month, so like for the 9 months, right? They were talking to each other, and they became really good friends. Last month, for the last month though, um, they felt attraction towards each other in the beginning, right? But at the last month, they felt something like click, like that. And, they didn't say anything yet, right? Not yet. But, you know, the girl, she's like, she knows, she can't deny it anymore. She's like, I like him. I like Izuku Midoriya. And Izuku, he's like, I like, blank. And, they start, developing their feelings. And, they've gone out, like, for the past, like, 10 months. So, yeah. And I'm going to change her quirk. And, yeah. So, that's where I'm going to end it off. I went through almost his whole backstory. So, this could be a part 0, but I'm going to say it's part 1. Because no one watches part 0. Like, not everyone who watches part 1. So, I want everyone to know his backstory. And so, that happens, alright? So, we're going to end it off. Izuku, Bakugo, and the girl. They head towards the UA entrance exams. And they stop at the front of the school. And they all say, well, hopefully we pass. And I'm going to say Izuku, he got a recommendation. But he declines it. He's like, nah, I'm going to get in through my own merit, through my own power, And I'm going to say he got one for all. Or no, actually, no. I'm going to let you guys decide who gets one for all, Bakugo or Deku? And so, yeah. And guess who the ship is gonna be? Alright? You might be able to guess who it is. But, you know, if you can't, I can understand why. But if you can, I can fully understand why. So, yeah. So, that's the end, right? Alright, so hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, stay tuned for the next parts. Because this story is going to have a lot of twists and turns in it. Hopefully. But, yeah. So, hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, you know, watch my other what ifs. You might enjoy those too. But yeah, if you didn't like it, yeah, all right. I mean, I might be able to understand why you didn't like it, but yeah. So next part or next video that I upload will probably be the end of Serial Killer, just because I need to get that over with. And my other Black Clover what ifs, I'm gonna finish those. I'm not gonna drop them. No, I'm gonna finish them. But yeah. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and yeah, it's been what if finisher, and I'll catch y'all later.